Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women.
The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man that you see just for someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left the state in their lives. People who do not have the courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise, day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to, someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal-oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams become a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We're beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, ear size, breast size, saying nothing will come of our lives.
Today we are going to discuss the phenomena of hope. We're going to explore what hope can do to a person's life, how we can use hope to change our lives for the better. A person needs just three things to be truly happy in this world: someone to love, something to do, and something to hope for. If I ask you what is hope, is it something supernatural, a feeling that makes everything in life better? The answer to this question is no. Hope is not something that is metaphysical. Although hope is a force, it is an internal energy that people use to face the day. Hope is one of the most powerful things that can guide you out of your darkest days. It is the best of motivators that promises a better future. Hope is knowing that things will get better when the circumstances look bleak. Hope is knowing that the bad days will not remain, knowing that the sun will rise again. Hope is knowing that you will feel the air on your skin again, knowing that every storm runs out of rain no matter how long or dark the night has been. There was a time when I had to believe that hope comes from another external being or is gifted to you. To some degree, this may be true. And what a beautiful thing is that you get to know it is a gift to your own soul by you. But hope is not an external thing that comes from outside of you. It is very much something that can be created and stirred up within your own heart and mind. In the face of recent tragedies, both natural disasters and man made distractions, the world is going through some serious crises of hope. Though most of us have not experienced it personally, but doesn't it feel guilty to go out after hearing the news of the deaths of thousands of people due to COVID 19? Don't you feel guilty because we want to help this stop, but nothing is in our hands, nothing is in within our power. We want to do something to stop this pestilence, to stop the spread of the virus. The very first way is to follow the instructions by health experts. And the second most important thing is we can do is to create awareness among people around us that hope is the only element that we can stand by. Here is a quote attributed to author Hal Lindsey. He says a man can live about 40 days without food, about 3 days without water, about 8 minutes without air, but not for 1 second without hope. When people do not have hope, they give up. They cease wanting to live. You see, hope helps you and me endure when life is hard. Hope gives us what we need to believe things will get better in the future and that whatever we're dealing with is momentary. Hope gives us the courage we need to get out of bed in the morning, even when life is hard. Hope helps us to keep trying to do what seems impossible, even when we want to quit. These worldly problems do not need a worldly solution. It needs a connection with God because God loves never fails. Praying keeps you close to God. Every time you pray, you will develop a sense of power. You will leave the room in peace. You will begin to believe that your life can change, that things can and will be improved. You will be revitalized and you will develop faith and begin believing in the future. And you will start your day with a surge of confidence and power. Every day say this prayer. I love you, Lord, and I thank you for all the blessings that you have brought into my life. I thank you for my children, for my home, and for my wife. I pray that you charge all of our angels to encamp around us every day to protect my children and wife and household as we go about our daily lives. I pray that you send angels to protect all of mankind and rid this country of its evil pestilence. I pray that you send angels to keep me in all of my ways. I plead the blood of Jesus over me and my wife and my sons and daughters and over our finance, our health, and every arena and area of our lives. I pray that you protect me and mine and that you give me strength to live a life worthy of respect. I lay my hands on my wife and children and believe that you will protect them in my absence and keep them safe until my return. I pray that you lead me during the day and allow me to work in peace and do a good job in all of my endeavors. I pray that you will help me provide for my family and help me present a good image to my sons and daughters that I live honorably in their sight. A prayer is the most powerful tool that we have in life. Prayer is greater than any man made force on this earth. It is greater than any device man can devise. Prayer is the greatest force on this earth because it calls the Almighty God into your life, and there is no greater force in the universe than this God. Just make up in your mind to develop the habit of praying. You have developed thousands of other habits. Why not develop a habit of praying? You learn to smoke every day and you learn to drink every day. Why not learn to pray every day? You have time. If you begin praying every day, maybe you will learn that you do not have to rush through your life, that God will take care of some of the things that you fear. Since you know you cannot solve all of the problems in your life, why not give these problems to God to solve and you go about your daily life? Praying will give you a sense of control over your life. Faith comes with praying. Belief in the future comes with praying. When you pray, your spirit will be at peace. The noise in your head will subside. You will begin to believe that things will change, that things will get better. After you have prayed, you will begin to say to yourself, okay, I've told God everything that I need. Now it's up to Him to help. When these thoughts come into your mind, fear and worry leaves. Prayer brings health into your life. When you worry, that is negative energy that acts on your body to produce ulcer, hair loss, nail biting, or angry responses. But if you pray, you will begin to develop a habit of being at peace because you know you've told God everything that you need and you have put it in His hands to do. Do not worry if you stumble as you pray. God is not interested in big words and a lot of pomp and a lot of hallelujahs. You want to pray and open the doors of your heart so when He does talk to you, you will hear Him and allow Him to lead you in your daily life. Make no mistake about it, God does talk to people. He will speak to your spirit and tell you, don't go on the trip today, or don't ride that bus today, or don't walk down that particular street today, or go get the groceries at the store later. All of these spirit speakings are warnings. You may not see the danger, but these spirit speakings are times when God is talking to you and warning you of disasters that are ahead. When you pray, you clear the line of communication with God because you no longer have a lot of random thoughts running through your mind because of worry and anxiety over the circumstances of your life. You will begin to tell yourself, okay, I have prayed. I have talked to the Lord. Now it's time for Him to act. Your mind will no longer be cluttered. You will begin to see life differently. Saying this prayer will hold you together during the day. If you begin to feel fear or weaken while at work, go into the bathroom and bow your head and say this prayer. It will strengthen you and quiet your self-doubt and bring your anxiety level down. Remember, you are men. God has given you dominion over the earth. Stand up and be at peace in the belief that you are living a Christian life and that you are leading your family into a righteousness by your example. Do not forget to put your hands on your children, your wife, and your home before you leave for work each day. Lay hands on them every day before leaving for work. Even if you are sleepwalking into the bedroom, and put your hands on them, confess your love for them, and ask God to protect them throughout the day. Then get up and leave your home assured that you have done all that you could do for your family that day. Do not sit in your home or car worrying and cringing in fear. Pray, then stand up and live your life as the man or woman that God made. Martin Luther wrote, everything that is done in the world is done by hope. I believe nothing in this world is a coincidence. We are all here for a reason. Because our actions and decisions affect somebody, and even if we can help one person, then you are still worth it, right? Something needs to matter because without something mattering, there is no reason to go on living. Without hope, your whole mental apparatus will stall out or starve. If you believe that there is no hope in the future getting better, that sternness of the bad days will remain forever. Then you will spiritually die long before your eventual death. Therefore, hope is the only thing that people are willing to die for. Hope is what we believe to be greater than ourselves. Without it, we are nothing, and we won't last much if it isn't for hope. Our crisis of hope often starts without a basic sense of not having self control or control over our destiny. We feel victim to the world around us, to our mind. We fight our brain, trying to beat it into submission, or we do the opposite and follow it mindlessly. This impedes in worsening our mental health, and many of us lose our sanity because we are lost hope. We ridicule ourselves and hide from the world because the affluence and connectivity of the modern world only makes the pain of the illusion of self control much worse. But we find ourselves not fitting in this world and try to just ignore everything it offers us without knowing that this may give us a better future. Nowadays, we usually judge people based on choice of living. Obsessed people are ashamed and are judged because of their choice. Let's have a look on the example of people who have gained too much weight. They know they should be thin, but still they choose to eat. And this thing bothers society. Hence, they are automatically assumed that there must be something wrong. The same goes for the smoker and the drug addict. Within no time, we refer to them as criminals. We tell them that their inability to create hope and purpose in their life is their own fault, and that they get convinced by us, ultimately making them feel hopeless for no reason. Our assumptions can lead to the real inevitable damage. Therefore, through my writings, I would request you to stop making classic assumptions and bring hope into this hopeless world. Educate brains that's giving up will never be a solution in this time of world. People have lost their loved ones, and when you lose someone, it's like a part of you is gone. I know it's hard to swallow, but we have to accept the bitter truth and not lose hope. Be a reason for someone's happiness, not the reason someone feels guilty of the thing which he or she didn't do. Without hope, you will fight your emotions. You will hate your existence. You will feel empty, but you don't have to fight what you feel. Just let the emotions take over and accept it, because God always has a better plan for you. The steering of your mind is on by you. Whatever the direction your heart gives you, just do it, and positively it will move accordingly. It is better to stay positive. Staying positive does not mean to be happy all the time, but knowing nothing remains forever, and this shall pass too. This shall pass too is a principle that is used by many people to live peacefully around. According to it, time never stops for anyone. There will be good days and there will be bad days. It's just like the night doesn't stay forever, nor the day. Sometimes of the year, days are longer than nights, and vice versa. The good days won't be there forever, neither the bad days will remain for the rest of your lives. So just be patient and wait for the sun to rise so we can see the day again. Finding hope in this pandemic and not praying will not work out. The more you neglect prayer, the more stressful and unfaithful you'll be. It doesn't matter which religion you follow. What matters is that you make a good connection with God and leave everything upon Him, then hope for good days to come, and surely good days will come. We will be seeing the sun again. We will be living around like we used to do before this pandemic hit us. Just have a little patience and hope for the better future, a better America, and a better world. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." Now for my break.
Today, I want to talk about declaration, making the announcement about who you will become. The thing about declaring or making a statement is once you say it, you begin to own it. It becomes yours. Today, I will no longer be a victim. Today, I will begin to make change. Today, I will start to take care of myself. Those are statements that you can own. Do not allow someone else's opinion have the final words on your heart. I want you to declare who you are. Declare who you will become. Today is the day for change. Today, I want to talk about self-control, the restraint exercised over one person's impulses, emotions, or desires. It is easy nowadays to lose control. We eat too much, drink too much. Everything is accessible to us. The hard part in life is finding that balance, that presence of mind to know what is good for you, and to live with that discipline. I know through my own journey that when I am balanced, when I'm showing self-restraint, I start moving better. I start thinking better. I become more confident in who I am. And that's what I want you to think about. What can you do to become more balanced, to act on need and not on emotion? Remember, you are the women of courage. Fortitude can be defined as the strength of mind that enables a person to encounter danger or to bear pain or adversity with courage and staying power. Think about that for a moment. Fortitude is the strength you have when you go through adversity. Everyone listening will go through pain, struggle, and disappointment in our lives. That is a fact. But what defines each of us is what we do after that pain, after that struggle and disappointment. Do we lay down and become a victim, or do we rise up and continue to push forward, continue to believe, continue to fight for ourselves? Remember, you are the women of courage. Resilient is defined as someone that can recover from or adjust easily to misfortune. Now I'm telling you, life is going to throw a lot of things your way. Some will be good and some will be bad. It is easy to be happy and optimistic when life is great. It is easy to be happy when your money's up, when your family's close, when you have a job. But we all know, life won't always be like this. So when those dark times start to happen, you need to realize this is just a season to a very long book about your life. You need to realize you are stronger than you think. You can overcome adversity through faith and understanding. You are strong and not alone.
We are living in a community which has been harmed by the disastrous COVID-19. But we are all here just because we are hopeful. We have successfully faced the horrible night of COVID-19 just because of hope of a bright day full of prosperity and strength. We remained and will be positive in our hope for a strong belief in God. Hope is the light and COVID-19 is the night. Night is always followed by day. The day is our hope, and courageous nation never loses hope. The night we have passed through was a terrible and horrible night. We have courageously faced this night of the COVID-19 as a nation. We should be hopeful that the day is near to appear and the night is fading away. The day is shining like a light, and the dawn of that light is hope which lies in all of us. The day for which God has made us pure in our character and personality. God has made us pure to prepare us for the coming future. God has chosen us for the future so that we can work for the betterment of humanity. You have been trained to work for the betterment of humanity as God has conveyed us this message through this virus. The spread of this virus has elaborated the importance of every human being on this planet, either the rich or the poor. We are all important to one another, and we all need one another. Be hopeful, and God will be with you, as God is the only hope. In the time of disaster, we have realized that the one and only hope of this universe is God. In every aspect of life, we move forward only with hope. Nothing can be certain in this world. Everything is uncertain in our lives, but the only certain thing that we find is the God. God is certain, and hope is always attached to certainty. So never lose hope, as God is always hope. Risk prevails everywhere in life of humans, and hope is the only thing which minimizes the risk. If we think that we are going to lose something during this prevailing disease, it is not a positive approach. Everything belongs to God, and it is also testified by the Bible as, "Behold, to the Lord your God belongs heaven and the highest heavens, the earth and all that is in it." That is Deuteronomy 10:14. The person who are here and the persons who are not here are all belong to the God. God has blessed us with our beloved ones, and now God is taking them back, and the same is the case with all other things in this world. So we belong to God, and God will protect us everywhere, and this hope will minimize every possible risk associated with us. Hope is an optimistic state of mind that is based on an expectation of a positive outcome with respect to events and circumstances in one's life or the world at large. As a verb, the definition is you expect with confidence and to cherish a desire with an anticipation. Hope is commonly used to mean a wish. It strengthens a person's desire. But in the Bible, hope is the confidence, expectations of what God has promised, and its strength in his faithfulness. What is a better word than hope? How about aspiration, desire, wish, expectation, ambition, aim, or plan? Why is hope so important? To have hope is to want an outcome that makes your life better in some way. It not only can help make a tough present situation more bearable, but it also can eventually improve our lives, because envisioning a better future motivates us to take the steps to make that future happen. What is the power of hope? Hope is the belief that things will work, especially when it seems otherwise. It helps a person stay calm and peaceful when something less than desirable emerges. Hope excuse me, believes you will get through it. Hope remembers the time you made it through. Hope teams up with faith and belief in the impossible. Remember during the last show when we discussed believing in somebody or something or some inanimate object, and we said the worst part of believing is worry. Worry is all about perspective. Worry can kill belief and worry can kill hope. An optimistic person will see an ambulance and say what a great help is on the way, and a pessimistic man will look at an ambulance and say, oh, somebody is dying. The perspective to observe surroundings is dependent on belief. We have, excuse me, people have faced the pandemic of COVID-19 with courage because these people have believed in God. Again, we will stand up and start our lives in a normal manner because we are believers. Plans are made and then it is believed that God will help in fulfilling those plans. Plans are made by humans by assuming it's going to be great for them, but God knows what is good and what is bad for us. So the success is decided by God, not by our plans. So believing in God is the actual success. Nobody wants hardship in their lives, but everyone knows that hardship is part of life. We have to believe in God, and the believing person is always helped by God. God puts us in hardship and then helps us so that we realize that the presence of God and the belief in that presence. We are here in this world to act, not to worry. Let worry to lie with God and act positively in the contemporary world with belief. Acting positive with belief in God leads us to the right path. Without belief, man always remains conflicted and misdirected. We should act positively because we are believers, and we have been directed to do so through the Bible in the Word. Commit your ways to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. A believer will pray and say, God will help me in the storm I'm standing in. Storms are always faced with beliefs because belief makes a person or a community courageous and strong. Have belief in God. The belief that God will help you is whatever the situation I'm going through. God will help me whatever the circumstances are. God will help me whether I am alone or in a group. God will help me because I am a believer. A believer always prays and said, God will help me in this storm. A believer not only have the faith, but also the strength to face and stand against the storm. The courage and strength with which we have faced COVID-19 is needed to be continued. Continuation of this courage is possible with the belief in God. We will be successful again. We will be prosperous again. We will be strong again. We will stand up and we will move forward as a nation. We, the believers, so we believe that God will guide us to the way of prosperity. We are a family because we are Christians, and God will never leave us alone and helpless. This is the belief. This is the hope, and this is the life. Today, we undertake that we will act in our lives with belief and positive approach as we did during the COVID-19 pandemic days. I would like to conclude with the final words from the Bible. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. That is Romans 15:13. Today we undertake that we will move forward in our lives with hope and strong belief in God, and that God will always be with us. The Women and Children's Restoration Ministry is a reading ministry founded on the principle that if one reads, one can manage his or her life successfully. The benefit of reading is enlightenment. Reading brings about self-awareness, and reading teaches one to problem solve, even if the problem is managing one's emotions. We advocate that people read all of their lives. We believe reading opens the door to possibilities and shows a person how to tap into his or her imagination as others have done before them. Reading is also a way out of poverty and ignorance. Poor children are overwhelmed at birth, especially black male children. Since the dissolution of the black family, 85% of black children are raised by women who are poorly trained and ill-suited to be parents. You are ill-suited to be a parent if you refuse to take time to read to your child or read for yourself. You are ill-suited to be a parent when you stick your child in front of a television or video game so he or she will be out of your hair. You are ill-suited to be a parent when you continue to bring non-related males into your home straight from the bar just because the man winked at you. You are ill-suited to be a parent if you teach your daughter that all she has to do in life is to put her buttocks and breasts out to attract a man. And you are surely ill-suited to be a parent when all you think about is walking around, allowing your derriere to flop in the wind, thinking your buttocks is going to attract some man. Our children are surrounded by people living by tradition instead of living by creativity and hope. Black children are not supported at home to read. Black children are not being taught to value reading. There are black homes where there is not one book in the house. The children do not even receive a book for a present. Black children are not being given a chance to stand up and bat because they are being defeated in the crib. Black Americans are not advancing because they do not read. If you can't read, wear it or drink it, many blacks are not interested. How many bookstores are in your neighborhood? How many books have you read this year? How many conversations do you have with people about a book that you read? There is a saying that has been repeated throughout generations. If you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. This saying is disgusting. Lack of knowledge is why black people get duped in business, why black women lack self-esteem and easily participate in sexual sin. Many black people cannot read an insurance policy or a purchase agreement. Our young men cannot receive training because they cannot read. They cannot take an exam for a driver's license because they cannot read. And what do? Nothing. Oh, we talk. Talk is easy. It makes one look intelligent. The telling point is there is no action behind the talking. The lack of self-knowledge is why we sell our bodies, why we think having a big butt makes us attractive. And once we get a clipboard and an ink pen, we think we're better than the next black woman. Reading will stop you from acting a fool on your job. Reading will make you think twice before screwing your best girlfriend's husband. Reading will not only teach you about jealousy, envy, and greed, it will teach you the consequences of these emotions. It is incumbent on us all to do something about this problem, lest we face one of these uneducated men breaking into our homes, because surely violence is associated with the lack of education. Once a child is born, every decision made by the mother affects that child, including the toothpaste that you purchase at the store. I want you to consider reading. Stand up and let God see you working to change. Today we will be discussing the book, What You Must Do to Win. This is an excellent read, and after you finish reading it, you will enjoy it, but you must put some of the ideas that the author talks about into practice. Reading is not enough. You must put these ideas into practice. If you are concerned with the direction that your life is taking, you should consider the way you think. If you are unhappy in your marriage, consider the way you think. If you are unhappy at your job, you should consider the way you think. If you are unmarried but pregnant with your third child, you should consider the way you think. If you are some man's mistress, you should consider the way that you think. If you are drowning your heart with alcohol, you should consider the way you think. If you are cheating on your spouse, you should consider the way you think. If you are planning on killing your boyfriend's wife, you should consider the way you think. If you are jeopardizing your children's lives by bringing an unrelated male into your home, you should consider the way you think. If you are allowing your husband to beat you in your home, you should consider the way you think. If you are soothing your mental pain with opioids, you should consider the way you think. If you are considering moving in with a man without the benefit of marriage, you should consider the way you think. If you are preparing or not preparing for retirement, you should consider the way you think. If you purchase expensive clothing to impress other people, but you do not spend money so your child can have a computer or a tutor to help him with school, you definitely need to consider the way you think. One of the reasons why mankind has had and is having problems with thinking is that all of his or her life they have been taught by their teachers and parents and grandparents what to think, not how to think. Listen to that distinction again. People as children are told what to think, not how to think. They're not taught that. A case in point is the notion that Columbus discovered America. He did not. Recently, a group of seventh graders took a publisher to task for saying in their textbooks that Columbus discovered America. The seventh graders said he discovered an island in the Caribbean, not America. Not being taught how to think is especially true in households where parents do not allow dissenting opinions from their children. Parents such as these exert control over thought in their households because they cannot tolerate or counter opposing opinions. These parents cannot tolerate a child questioning the existence of God. They cannot tolerate a child questioning the theory of creation. Creation must be accepted because it's right. Not so much that the theory of creation is right or can be proven, but that certain men say it's right and these men can back their opinion up with a gun. These gun-toting men say, we shall ignore any opinion that we do not agree with the way we think. So you see, man has two problems. He's not being taught how to think, and his thoughts are constantly being inhibited by men who seek power. Men who seek power like to be followed by people who are stupid and people who cannot think. Men who think cannot be controlled unless you kill 1,000,000 of them. So says the dictators of this world. All a dictator needs is a gun and religion. He can rule forever. Politics aside, let us look at areas closer to home. We shall discuss thinking with respect to who is the face in the mirror that we look at every morning. There are several categories of thinking. When you have time, go to several dictionaries and look up the meanings of the various categories of thinking. There is negative thinking and there is positive thinking. There is healthy thinking and there is unhealthy thinking. There is emotional thinking and there is non-emotional thinking. And there is a category called critical thinking. This is a type of thinking used by problem solvers and inventors. These thinkers were responsible for the scientific method. These are the futuristic thinkers. They are constantly asking the question, what if? Only when they ask the question, what if, is the thinker is looking to a project and to solve a problem. They're not looking to forecast gloom and doom. Most people think negatively, forgetting that negative thinking means when you think this way, you can foretell the future. The problem with negative thinking, such as worrying, it can become a habit. Negative thinking can turn you into a sad sack, and no one wants to be around you. They do not even want you as an employee or a neighbor. Why? Because negative thinking is no good for yourself or others. Your thinking does not enhance your life. Your thinking causes people to be depressed. When drinking is no longer fun, it is depressing. When using drugs is no longer fun, it is depressing. In the book, What You Must Do to Win, the writer presents you with several situations that people find themselves in, and the writer gives you some suggestions as to how to get out of these situations. God said, choose life. To do this, you must believe and you must stand up to change. Do not let negative people and toxic relationships keep you from realizing your dreams. You can be a better person. You must stop doing what you're doing and decide on conducting a better life. The drinking, the smoking, the snorting coke, lusting after someone else's boyfriend or husband or wife, and sexting every time you get a chance signifies that you have no respect for yourself or your children or anyone else. You have given up. You do not know how to manage your life. Your self-image is out of sync. How low are you going to go before you change? Your children will not survive if you do not change. Take a good look at your children. They will not have a future if you do not change. Are you not tired of seeing men and boys being carted off to prison for lack of knowledge or opportunity? Are you not tired of seeing women stand on the corner prostituting themselves? Are you not tired of envying other people and saying to yourself, I wish I were them? Stop fantasizing. Stop being ashamed of yourself because you're poorly educated or afraid, or you don't look like someone else. Your feet are too big, your ears are too big, or your breasts are too small, and your butt is too small. Stand up to life and change. Change is hard, but why die expressing regret? Do you know that negative thought and the negative dialogue that we conduct with ourselves every day can lead to murder because it's based on envy, hatred, and jealousy? I'm going to talk to you about how self dialogue has led to murder. Modern day life is filled with many sources of anxiety and emotional pressures. There is an increasing need to excel at everything and fast. At work, family, friendships all require an individual's attention. We are all chasing something, sometimes driven by our own desire, and often too trying to meet these societal bars and measures of prosperity that have been ingrained into us since childhood. Amidst this rat race that always has us always grasping for something or some reprieve and hanging on to any source of comfort that we can find, there are still those among us who try to drag us down with a lack of faith. It is difficult to understand why anyone would choose to put out negative energy toward the people around them. We are all just trying to get by and achieve our life's goals. It is troubling to have to deal with unnecessary, unproductive criticism and naysaying. In order to thrive, it is important that one finds the boldness to rise above the soothsayers of doom. Undoubtedly, it is a difficult task, especially when the naysayers are loved ones who ought to be cheering you on to greater heights. There are loved ones who are naysayers, and they will repeatedly say negative things to you each and every day. Why? Because they hate themselves, because they know you're striving toward a goal and they are not. I say some naysayers are loved ones who ought to be cheering you on to greater heights. Except it is probably worth remembering that non belief is their chosen path. And while you may desire their support and encouragement, you cannot force it out of them. Only an individual in their heart of hearts truly understand what outcomes and achievements they want and hope for out of their own lives. It is important to focus on those life goals and work toward them. One must remain strong against odds, encouraging themselves that it will indeed all come to fruition. Just as darkness cannot drive out darkness, you would be hard pressed to overcome non belief without being tenacious enough to stand in faith. What I am saying is leave the naysayers. I don't care if they're in your family. Avoid them, move across town, change your phone number, whatever. But leave the naysayers to themselves because they are not going to change. And you cannot change them. If you want to make something of yourself, you have to focus. You have to eliminate distractions. You have to eliminate Instagram, Facebook, time wasted even on YouTube, Twitter, video games, Netflix, Tripod, all the apps, having beer, hanging out with your friends on the weekend. You have got to be willing to sacrifice all of that energy that you use for the above things. You have to focus that energy on new goals. Now, people are going to come around you. Let's go on Facebook. Let's go out for a beer. Let's play a video game. Say no and leave the area. You must focus on your new goals. Success is not free. You pay for it by hard work and focusing. The more things you throw on the fire, the more you will be able to focus. You need to research how to develop focus, how to develop laser like focus, how to pick a niche and become a specialist, how to become a completely different person, how to become a new and completely different person, how to become a new you, and how to obtain your goals at ease.
Life is at its best when you get to the mountaintop. Nevertheless, At times we lose our way and land in the valley. Adversity comes and shakes us in fear. What do you do at such a time? Where do you get your strength when it's gone? Be Not Defeated in Hard Times is the book you need to overcome such fears and gain back your strength. It's cheap, $10.95 only. To purchase this book, log into https://touchedbythelight.us/regular-publications before it's out of stock. Are you a woman seeking solace? Or are you a woman in need of the comfort of prayers? Or are you one distressed and disturbed? It doesn't matter your niche. The Prayer Jar is a book just for you. It deserves your study table. The author, a fellow woman, writes this book inspirationally to address your prayer needs in every situation. The book does not only bring you closer to God, but it also leads you to a mature prayerful life. The printing is in black and white. Don't wait. Go to https://touchedbythelight.us/regular-publications to get your copy instantly for $14.95 only. The Prayer Jar, a Christian book for your prayer life.
Join us at the Women of Courage show every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. for information that will change your life.